Hello friends, today we will learn the summary of the lesson Bonsai Life Part 1 from the 7th unit of the 8th standard English textbook SSC Board Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. On to the summary of the lesson. The moment I see letters waiting for me on the doorstep, when I return from work, I can't contain my excitement. I can't contain my excitement means the excitement is so much that I cannot just control my happiness. That is, as soon as I see the letters, I am extremely happy. It's almost as if I am face to face with my near and dear ones and they are speaking affectionately to me. So the narrator says that as she gets the letters, she feels that she is speaking to them face to face. Instantly, the exhaustion means tiredness. Instantly means immediately. Instantly, the exhaustion of office work vanishes. Vanishes means disappears. And my heart grows light. So, heavily burdened heart after so much of work. Whatever burdens are there in the heart, everything flies away. And my heart grows light. Instead of entering the kitchen muttering, "Oh no, oh God," which is what I usually do when I come back tired, I feel like singing a song, humming a tune, making a nice cup of coffee and savoring each sip. So what she says is generally when she comes from office tired, she gets into the kitchen muttering. Muttering means not at all willing to go, in a very sad way she says, "Oh no, should I again make the tea? Should I work again?" But now when she has got the letter, she's very happy. She feels like singing a song, and when she drinks the coffee also, she wants to enjoy each sip of the coffee. What is more, the sight of inland letters or envelopes in a familiar hand gives me the energy and enthusiasm to quickly make and eat some pakodas or bhajis. Familiar hand means a familiar handwriting. That is, if I get a letter from someone very familiar to me, very close to me, the enjoyment becomes even more. Not only coffee, I want to even make pakodis and bhajis and enjoy the day. Even though I am lazy about writing letters, I love to receive one from some place or the other every day. Though I don't write letter, I like getting letters from others. This is an unexpected letter. If my Akkaya, who doesn't normally write, went out of her way to write a letter, there has to be a reason. So this letter is from Akkaya. Akkaya means elder sister. So my elder sister, she never writes to me any letter, but now she has written a letter. That means it's very strange. Without any valid reason, she would not have written the letter. So the narrator gets curious to know what is there in the letter. As I open the letter, I am little apprehensive. I am very anxious. You can say, what is there? She is very curious to know. I hope it is not some bad news. Now there is a doubt. What is this? Akaya never writes a letter. Is it any bad news or something? She is little bit scared of it. Actually, when things are fine, no one bothers to write. So this is a general thing. When everything is fine, no one writes letter. Or is anything wrong? So that is what she was very much apprehensive, worried about. Ammalu, you must be very surprised to receive my letter. So in the letter she reads this way, Ammalu, that is she is very fondly calling her younger sister Dakkaya in the letter. She is addressing this narrator as Ammalu, my dear younger sister. You should be very much surprised because I generally don't write the letter. You would even more be surprised if I were to tell you that your Bavagaru and I are coming to your place. Now what this Akkaya writes is, she and her husband, Bavagaru means elder sister's husband, we call him Bavagaru in Telugu. So what she says is, you might be very much surprised to hear that I and Bavagaru are coming to your place. We have been planning for quite a while to visit Kasi and Haridwar. We have now found the time. I hope you won't find our visit inconvenient. So this is a real good news. Now Akkaya and Bavagaru are coming to the narrator's house. My dear, It seems Akkaya and Bavagaru are coming over, so the narrator is even more happy. Her joy is overwhelming and she tells her husband that her sister and her brother-in-law are coming. I said to my husband excitedly, "Is that true? When? Where is it? Give me the letter," he said and pulled the letter from my hand. I went into the kitchen to get the coffee and other things ready. So both the narrator and her husband are eagerly waiting for Akkaya and Bavagaru. Akkaya and Bavagaru were coming to this city and are home for the first time since my marriage. Why this much of happiness is Akkaya has never visited the narrator's house. This is the first time ever she is going to visit. I had looked forward to their visit all these years. They had never left their village to go anywhere. So the people in the village, they are very busy. They have all the farm works, the household works, the cattle, the poultry, everything to take care. So they cannot leave that all and come to visit people. So here is what is the condition of the Akkaya too. She hasn't taken time out and visited our narrator. So it was very strange to hear Akkaya coming. Under such circumstances, imagine they're coming to our house and to this big city. So she is leaving all those chores and she is coming. So this is really making the narrator very happy. Akkaya is not as educated as me. By not as educated, I mean Nanagaru did not let her study after class 5. Of what use was education for a girl? Those were the days when people thought it was enough if a girl was able to keep the washerman's account. So here the Akkaya was not educated as much as the narrator was educated. This narrator is a working woman. So naturally she is an educated woman. And Akkaya was not educated and she lives in a village. This is not because Akkaya was not interested. This is because Nanagaru did not educate her Akkaya, because in those days people believed that it was sufficient if a woman is capable of taking care of the household accounts. A decade later, decade means 10 years, a decade later, when I was born, there wasn't much debate as to whether a girl should have education or not. But after 10 years, there was a change in the thought process of the father, and the father had thought that it was necessary for the girl child to be educated. I was lucky that my father changed with the times. He didn't even hesitate to send me to college. Hesitate means it's not willing. Not being willing is called hesitate. Now the father did not even show even a small unwillingness. He was very much willing to send her to college. She would want to put her education to good use and achieve something in life. Even though my husband had a good job, I took up one as well. So as the narrator is educated and she doesn't want to leave all the knowledge that she has gathered into vain, she has taken up a job, though it was not a necessary or it is not an essential thing for her. She has taken up so that she can utilize the knowledge she has gathered through education. Now, because Akkaya was not educated, she was married to a man from the village. Though my Bavagaru was educated, his ideas made him choose agriculture as his profession, and he settled down in the village to cultivate his land. So here we go with the story of Akkaya again. Akkaya was not much educated. And Bavagaru is educated. Though he is educated, he is interested in farming, into agriculture. So they are all residing in the village. Akkaya grew accustomed to the village life. Accustomed means habituated. Now as Akkaya lives in the village, she has got habituated to the village life. Akkaya brought so many things: cucumber, gongura, drumsticks, appadams, vadiyams and coconuts. So all the things, much of the things which are liked by the city people, especially the narrator and her husband, Akkaya has brought all those things, that is cucumber, gongura and vegetables and vadiyams and appadams, papads. Appadam and vadiyams are papads that are dried. Ingredients are mixed and those are dried to be fried in the oil. Those are called as appadams and vadiyams. I hope you don't mind. I have brought you all these things like kuchela. I don't know whether you like them or not, she said rather hesitantly. Now Akaya has brought all those things. Actually, she has done a big favor for the narrator, but she tells that like Kuchela, I have brought all these small things. Don't mind about my problem, my concern about the small things, how childish I am in getting all these things. Why do you say that? You actually brought all the things we wanted. We don't get these things here. Now you can see that Akaya was feeling very inferior because she was living in the village. That is why she says so. But here the narrator, she just doesn't like her Akaya going so low. She says, why do you think like that? We all like all these things. And then if your Maridi has gongura pulsu, cucumber pappu and drumstick charu, he feels as elated as if he had a sumptuous feast. And that too, that is your Maridi, that means my husband, that is the narrator's husband, is very much fond of the vegetables that Akaya has brought. So she says that whenever I cook all these vegetables, he feels as if elated means as happy as he has had a sumptuous means a full meal, like a very satisfactory meal. After you have a feast with all varieties of food items, how satisfied you are, how happy you are, how fulfilled your all your desires are. That way he feels. So don't take it that way. We are really looking forward when you would come, and we are very happy that you have brought all these things, she says. And then she adds, with my office work, I am unable to make appadams and vadiyams. Even if I have some free time, I'm too lazy to do such work. Now she says, you know pretty well, with my office work, I'm already exhausted and tired, and I am not in a condition to prepare appadam and vadiyam. If at all I get time also, you know pretty well about me. I am too lazy to do such work. That means I am so lazy that I do not do such work, or I cannot do such work. You know pretty well, she says. You know me, don't you? I said with a laugh. That's true. But by the time you come back from office, you must be dead tired. How can you then prepare appadams and vadiyams and make idlis and dosas? I don't know how you are able to manage work at home and in the office. Akaya consoled me. Now Akaya says, don't think you are lazy. Actually, you are tired and it's not possible for you to make. And then she says that she was really wondering. She really admires the narrator because she manages the work both in the workplace as well as at home, which is really a great task. And now the narrator says, what a wretched job. Sometimes I feel like giving it up. No, people say solve your problems at home before you solve those outside. To neglect work at home and look after office work is an uphill task for a woman, I said, speaking from experience. So the narrator, who is a working woman, is not able to do certain things which are expected from a homemaker. So she says that it is very difficult for me to manage the work at home, and how much ever I earn, how much ever I do good job at the office, I'm not doing my job completely at home. So sometimes I feel like giving up my work and staying at home and doing all these works. I really do not feel like doing the job again. I don't want to go to job. I want to do all the work at home and be a good housewife, she says. Now what Akaya says, don't think like that, Amalu. How fortunate you are. Fortunate means lucky. Amalu, my dear sister, how lucky you are. Touch wood. You have studied well, have a job like a man, and are earning very well. You don't have to beg anyone for anything. So Akaya says, hey, don't tell like that. Don't ever say of leaving the job. You're so lucky. You can earn money for yourself. You need not spread your hands before anyone. You can make your own living. Why do you want to leave the job? You are able to lead a dignified life, unlike us who have to depend on our husbands even for a few pairs worth of karvepaku, said Akaya. So Akaya says, you have such a life of dignity, and all this comes from the economical empowerment. Never ever speak of leaving the job. Now, the grass is greener on the other side. This is a proverb. That is, when we see from one bank of the river, this side of the river, that side of the river looks very lovely. And when we think that that side of the river is lovely and go that side, this side of the river looks lovely. That is, now for the homemaker, the working woman's life is very good. And for the working woman, the homemaker's life is very good. That is what here it means with the grass is greener on the other side. I thought to myself, what's your daughter doing now? I asked, changing the topic. Now, as Akaya was going very sentimental and she was telling how insulting or how embarrassing it is to always ask money from her husband. Now, the narrator wanted to change the topic. So, she changes it, asking her a question, what's your daughter doing? And now she inquires what her daughter is doing, what Akaya's daughter is doing. She is in her final year at school. If by God's grace she clears her exams means passes in all the exams, I am determined to send her to college. Your Bavagaru doesn't really like the idea of sending her to the next town and putting her in a hostel. Now maybe the colleges are not available in the village, so she has to put her in a hostel and educate her. And her husband, that is Akaya's husband, Bavagaru, is not much interested in educating the girl child, but Akaya is very much interested because she knows the value of education. But I don't like to keep a girl at home without educating her. Isn't what I am going through enough? So whatever I am undergoing without education, that is sufficient. My daughter need not undergo all those things. So I will certainly educate her. In these times, if a woman doesn't have a degree, she'll come to nothing. Without it, she will have to live under her husband's thumb like a scorpion under a slipper, she said. Scorpion under a slipper is under the control of someone. So she says that if a woman is not educated, she has to always depend on somebody or the other, and she would always be under the control of someone. She cannot live her life independently. Hence, education is a must for every woman, is what Akaya says, and that is why she is educating her daughter. Hope this session was useful to you all. Meet you again in the next session with the part 2 of the bonsai life. Thank you.